Fiesta, reaching you live from the station situated at the northern belt of Columbus. And so, while Brandon gets set to get back on the platform, let us stay out there in Boya and find out just how the population in that town, has been dealing with the latest wave of development. We're told that Boya just got its first traffic light inaugurated a couple of days ago. And so, let us find out just what has been going on there. Our reporter is now joining us, Ngi Benita Mbap. Welcome to the show, Benita.
Thank you very much, Ernest Kanjo. Thank you so much.
How is Boya on this second day of the year?
Well, presently, I'm not in Boya. I'm in Bamenda. So.
Okay. You are in Bamenda. You actually traveled to Bamenda from Boya. Okay. So, but
Yes.
tell us about what is going on in Boya as far as the traffic lights inaugurated a couple of days ago is concerned. We saw how that brought in some traffic congestion, which is unimaginable. Tell us about it.
All right. First, let me greet everybody watching right now, African Fiesta. And before the traffic lights were brought into place, we had an upsurge of traffic in Boya, and
Mhm.
it got many people wondering why a city which is as busy as that will suddenly just have traffic, especially around checkpoints. For those of you who know it, you'd find that uh, at some strategic points in Boya, you'd have a lot of traffic, checkpoints, Malingo, then somewhere around UB Junction. All those were happening. And when we try to find out why this recurrence of traffic in this major streets, we got to understand that, or to know that there has been an influx of taxis ever since the Anglophone crisis started. And you find out that most taxi drivers had left their various areas, especially those from Kumba and other areas which were really heated during the Anglophone crisis, and they moved into Boya. And also, there was some sort of a congestion of taxi drivers, which is what actually caused the traffic in the first place. Then, a couple of drivers made mention of the fact that police officers who are supposed to be there to control the traffic situation in those strategic areas were not even doing their job. They were easily struggling to get money for themselves, and it cost a whole. I mean, like, you would want to go to from checkpoint to Malingo, you might even spend 30 minutes on the road just to get to your destination, which many found displeasing, or many people complained about it. Now, I think when this was done, we had the mayor, Mafani Namange, who came in, and as his own work to help his municipality, that's the Boya municipality, he decided to bring up the traffic lights, which were inaugurated some few months back. That's in 2020. And then he decided to pinpoint this traffic lights at some key areas in Boya. You had the traffic lights at Malingo, you had traffic lights at checkpoints, and then Biaka University Junction. So those were the areas where the traffic lights were put. Now, it was a very beautiful initiative, a very great one at that. But then I think people started to kind of wonder. First things first, the poles that were used. I mean, if you look at the traffic lights, you'd find out they were really so small. Like somebody just put up a toy in the area for people to respect and all that. So people started complaining first of all about the sizes of the poles, and some people complained. Some taxi driver presidents of syndicates, Sinthrakam, actually spoke about the various locations where the traffic lights were installed. Now, everybody recommended checkpoints because it's a busy area where you have the Bitingi markets, everybody goes there. And then they didn't find how necessary the Biaka University Junction needed a traffic light, but it was already said and done. Now, it was inaugurated, and the mayor promised that everything is going to be fine. It's going to help curb the traffic Boya has been facing for the past months.
Mhm.
Because it's been unbearable. And when this came up, people saw the need. But then there was a problem. On the very same day people started using it, there was more traffic, and there were some sort of inconsistencies between the switch of the lights. Like, for instance, the red light, which signifies that okay, the taxis should stop and wait. Now, you find out that in a bit of 5 seconds or 1 minute that it pops up on a particular lane, in 1 minute's time it pops up again. So you find the car stopping in the space of 1 minute. So you find out there were already some incoherencies with the traffic lights.
Right.
And apparently, many people wondered and asked, I for one, I asked if the drivers were actually educated on how these lights function.
Mhm.
And it would surprise you to know that this project was done at about 10 million francs CFA, if I'm
Hmm.
not mistaken. And they gave this to somebody. I was in a taxi while I was struggling to get down to the park. The good thing is, when you're a journalist, it's not shown on your face that you're a journalist. So I
Mhm.
just sat down with the taxi driver and we were discussing why this was going on. And so the taxi driver, we were complaining about the traffic lights. The taxi driver was like, the person who even they didn't even put much work into it. They just gave his money and he put up whatever it is he put, and that was the end of it. So you realize that the project was poorly executed. The project was poorly executed. I believe whoever took up that project just wanted to make money for himself and put whatever it is that he could put up in the major streets here in Boya. And now, while we went on with the conversation, we realized that some of the taxi drivers don't even know what these traffic lights signify. So you find a confusing scenario where the population doesn't know the various significance of the traffic lights. Then some taxi drivers don't even know. You find out that it was I don't know, the project was not well planned, and so it didn't even succeed, and it caused more traffic, and it got people wondering. That is something that's supposed to help curb the traffic case we had in Boya, but then things got worse. People complained about how they spent an hour just to leave from Bonduma to UB Junction, something that will take you roughly about 15 minutes, while the traffic lights were still there. And it would surprise you to know, Ernest, and maybe the population watching us right now, that as of the period I left Boya, that was on Wednesday, the 30th of December 2020,
Mhm.
those traffic lights were not working. The traffic lights were not working. So things are not in place. Boya has gone back to how things were, even without the traffic lights. And you will find out that there is even less traffic. There is less traffic because I was able to do two runs from my 17 back to Bonduma in a space of 10 minutes. In a space of 10 minutes, I was able to go to my 17 and come back. I didn't find any traffic. So apparently, the traffic lights instead caused more traffic. And many people complained about the fact that the mayor did not properly prepare for this. It was not properly structured, and it was not the appropriate time for the traffic lights to be set up in Boya. Whatever be the case, his intentions were pure. He was struggling to reduce the traffic rates in the Boya municipality. Apparently, it's gone all bad. It's gone wrong, and people are kind of making a mockery of it, because you would find out that most people say Cameroon likes doing let me use the parlance they use, 9 minute things, 9 minute things. So it was poorly planned, poorly prepared, poorly executed, and now we find ourselves barely 2 months into the functioning of the traffic lights. They are not functioning anymore.
Mm. Guy Benita back there, reporter's perspective on development, and she has been telling us about traffic lights introduced in Boya. And according to the reporter, it was a project that was poorly executed. So as we speak, Benita, the traffic lights are not working. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, as we speak, the
Okay.
traffic lights are not working.
Well, you know what? Let's keep an eye on that story. We'll come back to it subsequently on African Fiesta, and perhaps